Hey everyone, welcome to Opal Oracle. For those of you who are new, my name's Raaji. It's really nice to meet you. And those returning, of course, thank you so much for being so open-minded to alternative methods of understanding. It's really fantastic, actually. And of course, I'm so proud of you for everything that you're going through for yourself. Remind yourself to, pride is a weird word, but in the sense that it has a duality to it, but give yourself that recognition, okay? This is going to be for Cancer. I don't know if I mentioned that, sorry, for mid-October. Now, I'm hoping to get them all out in time. I'd like this to relate to the full moon that's in Aries on the 5th of October, okay, which is actually tomorrow. The new moon is on the 19th of October. This is a 14-day span. Now, full moons, for those of you who are unaware, are for things of completion, okay? Stopping a situation. We have to put the intention in to what it is that we want to complete. If we do not, subconsciously, the universe will make choices for us to what shall be completed in our lives. That's why we want to be conscious and aware of all of our actions, so that, and what it is that we really want, what it is that we really deserve, and think that, believe that we want, and part of the wanting is removing other situations, okay, because we cannot have everything. And the new moon is about intentions and manifestation to what we want to build in the future. Usually it comes sometime after, depending, however many full moons, depending on the severity of your goal. Now, I broke this down into 4 sections. There's one for work, which can also be your finances as well as work on yourself. We have a section for love, creativity, and spirituality. I also chose one card as a central energy from the Mary El Tarot called, this is the Knight of Wands. You also have Archangel Michael on the bottom of the deck. Okay, this is really important. This card also. It means that you have spirit with you, regardless of what religion that you believe in. He also, I want to say, is very relatable to this Knight of Wands. You see that there's a lot of darkness in these cards, okay? He actually is the demon slayer. Okay? He brings light into the world. He is, I forget what they call him. It's something like one with God, or who is one who is like God. Okay, he has that kind of, that's why you hear people talk about Archangel Michael a lot, which is another reason I did the 4 corners, is for the 4 archangels of the 4 corners of the earth. Now, this Knight of Wands, yes, this is quite dark, but you see here this lightning bolt in his hand. This is his passion, okay, holding it out into the world. I like that you're finally, like, if this is your central energy, like, his eyes are so intense. Most Cancerians actually have very intense eyes. But it's like everything else is sort of faded into the background except his vision and his energy, okay? So there's something about, however your perception, okay, however you're looking at a situation during this time is what is going to fuel the power behind it, okay? If you think positively, not to say you need to, I don't believe in that new age, like, only believe in love and peace and harmony. I mean, that's cool, but you can't have a yin-yang without darkness. There wouldn't be daytime if there wasn't nighttime, and you're ruled by the moon, You have to come into understanding this shadow side of yourself more, just as everyone else does, but it's a deeper process for you, okay? You're in the primordial waters. That's where you came from, okay? Now, in your work situation. Oh, let me set a timer, because time's been so weird to me lately, and I cannot wrap my head around it. This season's changing. You have the Star and the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Usually I put all these cards upright. For whatever reason, this came out. That means that, okay, within your job, there was something that, within your work, there was something that you were wishing for. Now remember, this can also be work in yourself. Please relate it to yourself, that how it applies. These are general. But there was something that you're wishing for. I see that there is a healing. But with this card, it's like there's a reassessment. Like, you're not sure about this wish for whatever reason. Because in a way, I want to say that you received it. It's showing me that you received some sort of wish that you were desiring. But now you're having to look it over again for some reason. You know, maybe it's kind of like, just as an example, like if we say, I remember this woman said this once and I'll never forget it. You know, if we wish, just as a side note, if you say, oh, I wish I had more money, and then you find $1 on the ground, then you have more money. It's like, and this goes into the new moon intention, okay? And also completion. Like, if you don't feel like you have enough, then you need to figure out what you need to remove out of your life so that you can have more, okay? And if you feel like you've been asking, and you're getting what you want but not the way that you want it, well, that has a little bit to do with acceptance, but it also has to do with being really clear in your mind about what you're creating, okay? You want to be extremely clear about what it is that you want, because within your creation section, within your creativity, you have this Wheel of Fortune and the King of Swords. This is like, it's so fantastic. Like, what if you can be really clear in your thoughts about whatever it is that you want to create in this life, and now work is actually like right above. These two are in line with each other. They make a 4 square itself. If work isn't working for you, if the work that you've been putting in for yourself doesn't make you feel like you're healing, then you need to figure out, you need to start, again, thinking about it, the perception, the vision of it. How is it that you want it? Because I see here that you can, because, you know, this card is good luck, but it also is the element of, you know, this guy's on top right now, but because this guy's on top, this guy's getting squished on the bottom. It's like the way that the wheel turns. Yes, there is good luck in it, but it's also like we have to understand that to every up has a down, and the wheel, you know, and the wheel goes round and round and round. And sometimes when we're feeling really good, maybe people around us are having a really hard time. And I could understand that that's frustrating to someone, especially a Cancer, that's learning to heal themselves. And it's like you're finally starting to feel good, but then maybe other people need you. And this is a test to show you, like, alright, how much am I supposed to give? Because I see here that although this represents what I was speaking about before, I also just saw it, and it's like, it's just a little lightning bolt, okay? It's not about, he's not giving everything, his whole world. He's giving just enough that he can give that doesn't take away from who he is, okay? Now, in your relationships or love, you have the King of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Some pretty strong cards here, Cancer. This to me shows that the King of Cups, you need to, whoever is in your life that you love, sister, brother, mother, lover, whatever, even in your work, like, whatever you are passionate about, wherever your feelings are really intertwined, and I know for a Cancer has a lot to do with family, etc., but you need to express your emotions. You need to express how you really feel about a situation. And yes, this sword, although it is an ultimate blessing, and like to an air sign, they love this, but like to a water sign, they're like, oh, this is too sharp, it's too big, I don't want to say it. Because you see, the sword's just as big as this person, right? It's enormous. But this sword, although, like I said, to an air sign would be awesome, to a Cancerian it's a little scary because it doesn't always, sometimes it happens a little harshly, okay? Like, you really have to say how you really feel. This is extremely important. This message is so strong, okay? You really have to say it. And yes, in saying that, will the truth of the matter have you have to separate from certain situations in your life, from certain people, from certain emotional situations you've been emotionally involved with? Yes. Now, does that mean that if you tell, like, I don't know, say you're helping, like, there's a family member that needs something, right? And you feel the need to want to help them. Yes, of course you should help if you can, right? If you have it to give. But you cannot infinitely help someone and give them everything. If you do that, you'll run out of your own energy. Okay, that's when you become depressed. That's when you become like, and I don't see any cards of that per se. It's just like, I'm just letting you know what you already know. You tend to be more concerned about other people and the way that they feel instead of how you feel. And this ace here is showing you and telling you that, like, you can say it. And you can say it clearly. Like, you're not allowed to treat me like that, if you need to say it that way. Or you could say something like, as an example, like, I know that you need me. I know that you're going through a hard time. And I feel like I've been doing my best. But what I've actually, you know, I'm learning to not drain myself of my own energy. And in truth, it's become a little habitual to who I am. And I need to curb that. I'm not saying that I don't want to be there for you when you really need me, but I can't just give you my everything because I'm learning to give to myself. You know what I mean? And if you say it to somebody like in that kind of way, you're not being mean. You're just being really honest. Okay? And if they don't understand you, if they get mad at you for not giving your everything and you retracting a little bit and being like, hey man, I need to fuel my own life force with me, then they may be selfish, and that's something sometimes you have to separate yourself. Now, again, I want to specify, say it is family or something where you're helping. It doesn't mean that you're going to cut all ties with them. You know, that's not necessarily what this sword is for. I mean, potentially some people, some friendships, some situations, yes, that will happen. But when it comes to the people that you really love and that really love you too, it's not about that. It's just about, again, speaking your truth, okay? Telling them, like, hey, I'm learning this right now. I'm learning this, and I'm learning to not sit here with these negative emotions. Okay? I'm learning to walk away from situations that I am ultimately emotionally involved with, that take up a lot of my time and energy. I'm learning about that. Okay? I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to be not only the best caretaker to everyone else, but because I know that I can do that, what I'm really learning is how to be the best caretaker of me. Okay? And I see, because this and this are diagonal from one another on opposite sides of the opposite corners of the board. These are intertwined. Okay? An ace and a major arcana. You also have this Empress and the star on the other two corners. Okay? This is very important. I hear these are cornerstones to your expansion as a person. But you have to want it, okay? You have to kind of stand your ground. And this card's actually come up for 5 other signs. It's fascinating. I see the new moon and the full moon in here, okay? There's something extremely important about you setting the intention to what it is that you want to separate yourself from, on the full moon, and what it is that you want to start walking towards in the future. And I like that. See that he's red? And then this is where you end up. And it's like you're sitting in this decision, but with comfort, with beauty, with grace. You know, this is ruled by Venus. This represents love. Very much she loves herself. And I know that's super hard to a Cancer to be like, love yourself, but like really, and I said it before and I'm going to keep saying it actually, please start thinking about the way that you love other people, particularly the females out there, but all Cancerians, but imagine loving yourself the way that you love other people, caring for yourself the way that you care for other people. You know, because you save people's lives sometimes. And I see, just planetarily, timely speaking, this year, particularly being a 10-year, being in the 10th month, these all break down to the number 1. That's all about self, the number 1. Okay? It's time for you to start caring about yourself. Not giving to everybody else so much. You cannot. You'll drain yourself. You'll go to a dark place and you know it. Okay? Now, we're going to choose a Stitchumancy from one of my favorite books ever, and I love books, so there's so many, but this one's a big one. It's in the top 10. The Finite and Infinite Games by James P. Cars. Actually, a Cancer was the one that introduced me to this book. Now, let's choose one, huh? Cancer. Well, this is what I landed on, so I hope this has some value to you. It says, it is a highly valued function of society to prevent changes in the rules of many games it embraces. Such procedures as academic accreditation, licensure of trades and professions, how do you say that? Synodokial, ordination, parliamentary confirmation of official appointments, and the inauguration of political leaders are acts of the larger society allowing persons to compete in a finite games within it. Okay, let's read this again. It is a highly valued function of society to prevent changes in the rules of the many games it embraces. Such procedures as academic accreditation, licenses of trade and professions, ordination, parliamentary confirmation of official appointments, and the inauguration of political leaders are the acts of the larger society allowing persons to compete in the finite games within it. Now, this book is all about the finite and infinite games. I think that you may need a little bit of clarification, so I'm going to read you the first 2 chapters. It's quite simple. Actually, I'll read you chapter 1. This will solve it, okay? There are at least 2 kinds of games. One could be called finite. Oop. The other infinite. A finite game is played for the purpose of winning. An infinite game for the purpose of continuing the play. Now, you giving, whatever, it's nice of you, but that's a finite game. In the end, you get burnt out. You know? In the end, it's not reciprocal. You're not playing with anybody. You're just taking all the things that you have that you have within your game of a world and giving them to other people. An infinite game is where you give and then you receive. Other people give too. You know, and we do structure our society in such a way that's very finite. You know, we want to decide all the time, be against one another, but we always gather together now to be against something. But to gather together to be for something, it's such a different energy, you know? And yes, it's hard to go into a place in time in your life and be like, all right, who is giving to me? You know, if I really broke it down, like, who are my friends? Who can I really call on that doesn't have an ulterior motive, who doesn't take advantage of my giving? And no, that's not going to feel that good, but it will feel good to you if you make the conscious decision to express yourself about that, okay? Like, hey, you're not doing it for me. You're not giving me enough. This relationship is not balanced. It's not fair. Okay? That's when you feel empowered, because you spoke it before it went deep into the dark depths of unknowing, and where you feel left out, and like where you have to battle these demons and you feel really vulnerable. Okay? You don't have to go all the way there. You can just give enough, but not all. And where the giving should lie, truly, is within yourself, to yourself. Okay? My eye just like twitched and got stuck. My left eye. Like I was smiling so hard, my eyes were like, you know? Just love yourself. Take that Venusian energy. We're in the Venus time. Okay? Also, Mars is coming into Venus. Mars and Venus are doing a dance on the 5th, on the full moon. You know, which is really about expressing your love. You know? To yourself, and really expressing how you feel about something. It's important. Don't be afraid to lose. You can't lose. You cannot. We're always winning. Okay? Alright. I'm wishing you the best until November.